Hi, I'm Megan Napier, and I'm excited to be here today with Jonathan Miller from J Square. They are the #1 luxury stager in Richmond, and they're going to give me an insight into the design trends of 2022.
Thanks for having me, Megan. So, what can I tell you a little bit about for 2022?
Well, I would love to know what you're seeing with the modern trend going on because I've seen that shift in the last year with decor and also new construction. So I'd love if you could touch on that.
We've had a huge shift with minimalism modern versus actual mid-century modern versus current modern. So they're calling it a retro modern movement right now because the Kardashian look of all white, super minimal lines, just basically a blank canvas in a sense, is kind of going out. They want a more modern look, but at the same time, they want it to be warmer. They want warmer textures. They want still a monochromatic look, but they're doing more browns, more blacks, heavier things like that. So then that way, you're getting that aesthetic, but at the same time, it's more comfortable since you're being at home more.
That's really good to hear because you just did a modern stage for me, and the buyers wanted to purchase all the furniture. They loved the aesthetic so much.
And it's interesting because a lot of times when you think of that modern look and that clean line right now, you automatically just shift to it being a little more cold, but it's not anymore.
No.
And we're warming it up. I mean, rattan is a huge thing this season, but it's not your grandmother's rattan. It's like what we're sitting in here. It's more curved. It's got more texture to it. You're seeing it in a medium tone, not really light and white, darker browns and things like that. So you can mix it into your modern everyday living room life.
So Jonathan recently inspired me to do a black shiplap wall in my house, and it's amazing. I love it. And I'm seeing a lot of black accents in homes. So can you tell me more about that trend with tiles and accent pieces?
Well, a lot of times, like with your fireplace, which I hope you'll show a photo of, you had that beautiful stone. And nature is being brought indoors a lot of times, and so being able to highlight that stone brought your nature inside on each side with the black shiplap. It's not Joanna's normal white shiplap. It's more updated, it's more sleek, so then you can pair pieces with it from West Elm and other modern stores like that. One of the other things you're going to start seeing is in bathrooms. Art Deco tile. Art Deco has so many shapes and curves, things like that, but they're doing it with a two-tone. So they're doing maybe a loud color on the bottom like pink and then black on top or a white on top. So you're going to see a little bit more drama happening in bathrooms.
Well, I look forward to that because I love the look of all black. It's very sleek. So I think that's a great trend to embrace. How many homes do you stage a year?
On average, we usually do around 330. We got out generally around 55 at a time. We've seen a huge lifestyle shift in the last 2 years, though, because more people are having more luxury homes done. And with the way the market is, for longevity of a realtor, you've got to be staging in that sense because people are going to be looking at your promo photos. So if you're selling, they're going to want to see a lifestyle in that home already that they can go in and attain.
One thing is that you've seen a shift in how people's lifestyles are at home since they're spending more time. Are you seeing more home offices, more separation of space when you're designing a home?
We're seeing far less dining rooms, which I'm sure you remember. This was a trend last year as people were starting to work from home. They were turning their dining rooms into offices. Now we're seeing them shift that and making it a secondary family room versus an office. Because when you think of the location of a dining room, it's usually first thing when you walk in, you're seeing it right off, and people don't want to have a messy office there. So they're picking another room in the house, maybe a breakfast nook or something that they can shift into an office. They're turning that dining room into a family living space because anyone, especially with children, most of the time the kids don't want to be in the same room with each other if they're watching television, whatever they're doing. So having two living rooms side by side, it's working for them.
Yes, well, open concept was not as good of a plan when everybody was home, working, school. So that does make sense how people are shifting to have more defined spaces.
I'm glad you touched on that because that's one of the other trends is that it's less open concept. People actually want those separate rooms that they can block off, steal a moment of privacy. And if you remember on all the old 50s movies, things like that, when you see a classic reenactment, they have that kitchen and you see the wife go in there and she's like, oh, thank God it's over. So she has that minute. People want to steal those moments now because they're home with each other so much.
Yes. Well, that makes sense, and thank you so much for your time and insight. Anytime I have decor questions, I always ask Jonathan.
Thanks for coming in and chatting today.
You're welcome.